In the shadowed corners of our world, where the line between salvation and extinction blurs, a new terror is born. A weapon unlike any before it. A sharp, metallic ping, followed by a brief, icy synth chord. Highly advanced, weaponized, a bio-threat, codenamed Snowflake. A sudden sharp electronic whoosh, followed by a percussive thump. Now it is gone, stolen by a power rising from the technological abyss, Etion, a global terrorist organization, enhanced, unseen, unstoppable. Led by a force of nature made flesh and steel, the super soldier, Brixton Lore. The very air we breathe now holds the promise of doom. And to retrieve it, to save us all, the impossible must unite. A massive engine roaring, then a grinding halt. Narrator, Luke Hobbs, an unbreakable DSS agent, a titan against tyranny. And Deckard Shaw, a ghost in the machine, a mercenary of unparalleled cunning. They despise each other, their rivalry legendary, their animosity a force unto itself. Quick, intense flashes, Hobbs glaring, Shaw smirking, both in explosive conflict with other foes. Yet, the fate of every living soul rests on their uneasy alliance. For the virus, the Snowflake itself, now resides within. Pause. Ominous, sustained synth note. Carried inadvertently by Shaw's own sister, the equally formidable Hattie Shaw. Sound of a determined, strained gasp, as if Hattie is pushing through pain or intense effort. From the sprawling concrete jungles to the desolate, hidden fortresses. They will fight, they will clash, they will push humanity to the very edge. Rapid cuts of intense action, car chases, explosions, hand-to-hand combat, glimpses of a timer ticking down on a screen. Narrator, one unstoppable force, one calculated mind, and one woman caught in the deadly heart of it all. Music swells dramatically, a final immense explosion blasts across the screen, then silence. This summer, an alliance forged in fire, a race against annihilation, a fight for everything.
I'm gonna ask you some questions. When you give me an answer, yeah.
Real assholes. Like the window. You're gonna tell me.
No, wait! Don't leave!
All right, here we go.
Well, that's a tough decision.
Oh, it's really not.
So
thing is a nightmare. It's me. I catch everybody I hunt. Okay, look. I eat bullets all day long.
Go for Brett. Put that down. Saved it.
No. All right, this is my... Yeah, it's gonna stay that way unless you tell me what the weapon is.
Actually, everyone's gonna die. Protecting myself, I didn't have a choice. I was gonna take it.
I don't care to hide and I will fight for me.
Program intercepting vector.
I can't. I'll go to war anyway.
Well, it's be dead. 8 years ago.
Get it ready.
Looks like she's 400 yards through.
No backsies. What's the matter, Yellow?
Access denied. Access denied. Access granted.
Это твой, ребята.
All right. This virus.
We're not gonna join.
Let him go, or you're gonna get a nice new bruise.
Yes.
Hey, where's the machine?
In the second truck.
Accept.
This ain't gonna make it!
No, I got him. I got him.
thought you were strong.
Shaw! Hold on! Check it up! Yeah! What are you doing?
The axle, the axle!
You got this! Too much weight! All right! Incoming! I trip into her heart, you understand? Add up for you! You know I almost feel bad for you! Be hard being so! Time to work as a team.
Watch your back, brother.
I got you.
I got it.
Fire! You!
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the adrenaline-pumping, gravity-defying, utterly ridiculous, and undeniably entertaining world of Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. It's a spin-off that proves you don't need cars doing physics-defying leaps to have a good time. Though, let's be real, there are still plenty of those. We're going to break down every explosive punch, every sarcastic jab, and every impossible stunt that makes this movie a standout. Get ready for a wild ride that proves family isn't just about blood, but about who you can grudgingly tolerate saving the world with. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me keep the action coming. Our story kicks off in a blaze of flashing lights and urgent alarms within a secure MI6 facility in London. A team of highly trained operatives led by the sharp and utterly composed Hattie Shaw, sister to the infamous Deckard Shaw, is engaged in a frantic operation. Their objective: retrieve a deadly weaponized synthetic virus called Snowflake. The air is thick with the crackle of gunfire and the thud of bodies hitting the floor as the Etion forces, a shadowy, technologically advanced organization, storm the complex. Hattie, moving with a fluid grace born of years of combat training, deftly navigates the chaos, her eyes scanning for the precious pathogen. She's all business, a stark contrast to her brother's more flamboyant style, but no less effective. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the smoke and debris, a hulking presence that moves with an unnatural speed and precision. This is Brixton Lore, Eteon's top enforcer, and let me tell you, he's not just a bad guy, he's a super bad guy. His movements are too fast, his blows too powerful, almost like a glitch in the Matrix, but with more leather. He's wearing some kind of advanced armored suit that makes him look like a futuristic biker ninja, and his eyes glow with an unnerving intensity. Hattie's team, despite their training, falls before his relentless assault. The metallic clang of his advanced weaponry echoes through the corridors as he systematically disarms and incapacitates everyone in his path. It's a showcase of superhuman agility and strength, making short work of even the toughest agents. He snatches the vial of Snowflake with an almost casual ease.
But Hattie isn't one to give up easily. Thinking on her feet, she initiates a protocol, trying to secure the virus. In a desperate split-second decision to keep the virus out of Eteon's hands, she shatters the vial, and, in a moment that makes you go, wait, what? She injects the contents directly into herself. Now, most people would probably just pass out from pure panic, but Hattie, she just powers through it, a testament to her sheer grit. This audacious move leaves Brixton momentarily stunned. He tries to grab her, his enhanced hand closing around empty air as she makes a daring escape, leaping through a reinforced window, the glass exploding outwards with a deafening crash. The Eteon forces pursue, but she vanishes into the labyrinthine streets of London, a ghost in the machine. Brixton, furious, then frames her as the rogue agent who stole the virus. Classic villain move, right? Always gotta blame the good guys. Meanwhile, across the globe, we catch up with Luke Hobbs, a man who defines unit. He's in Los Angeles, leading a significantly less dangerous but no less intense morning routine, making pancakes for his adorable daughter, Sam. The domestic scene is a stark contrast to the high-stakes world he usually inhabits, a brief glimpse into the softer side of the granite-faced DSS agent. We see him in his element, a loving father, a man committed to his family. Then, because this is Hobbs, he immediately hits the gym, tossing around weights that look like they belong on a forklift, grunting with an intensity that could shatter concrete. The rhythmic thud of the weights, the strained groan of muscle, it's all there, building that mountain of a man we know and love. It's an important reminder that even when he's not punching bad guys, he's perpetually ready to. His piece is, of course, short-lived. A slick, suit-wearing CIA agent named Locke, played by the endlessly sarcastic Ryan Reynolds, appears on his doorstep, interrupting his serene breakfast. Locke, with his rapid-fire dialogue and perpetual air of knowing more than he lets on, delivers the grim news. The Snowflake virus is out there, Hattie Shaw is the prime suspect, and the world is basically on the brink of an extinction-level event. Hobbs, initially reluctant, citing his retirement and commitment to his daughter, is eventually swayed by the sheer gravity of the threat. The fate of humanity, as it often does in these movies, rests squarely on his incredibly broad shoulders. He agrees to take the case, the familiar fire of duty reigniting in his eyes. Simultaneously, in the more opulent, perhaps slightly less morally upright corners of London, we find Deckard Shaw. He's enjoying a lavish meal, looking impeccably dapper, seemingly unburdened by the world's problems. Shaw, ever the connoisseur of fine things, is in his element, but his peace is also about to be shattered. A British intelligence handler, Agent Lokes, interrupts his sophisticated dining experience. Lokes informs Shaw that his sister, Hattie, is a rogue agent implicated in the theft of the Snowflake virus, and that the fate of billions hangs in the balance. Shaw, fiercely loyal to his family despite their complicated past, immediately dismisses the claims, convinced Hattie is being framed. He, too, is brought back into the fold, albeit with a much larger chip on his shoulder. The stage is now set for their inevitable and utterly explosive reunion. Hobbs and Shaw are summoned to the same sterile, brightly lit MI6 facility in London. The air practically crackles with animosity the moment they lay eyes on each other. Hobbs, all muscle and righteous fury, sees Shaw as a criminal, a reckless individual who puts his own self-interest above all else. Shaw, all sharp suits and even sharper wit, views Hobbs as a Neanderthal, a brute who relies solely on brute force rather than intellect. Their initial exchange is a masterclass in verbal sparring, a relentless volley of insults and thinly veiled threats, each trying to assert dominance. The room feels smaller with their combined egos. It's like watching two alpha predators circling each other, just waiting for the first sign of weakness. The MI6 director, overseeing this chaotic alliance, tries to explain the mission: retrieve the virus from Hattie, prevent global catastrophe. It's clear that these two titans, despite their mutual loathing, are the only ones capable of tackling this world-ending threat. This forced partnership, born out of necessity, promises an epic clash of personalities, and we are absolutely here for it.
The intelligence points them towards a secluded safe house in the grittier industrial outskirts of London, where Hattie is believed to be holed up. Hobbs and Shaw, still exchanging venomous barbs, arrive on the scene. Their approach is anything but subtle. Hobbs, ever the battering ram, crashes through the door, while Shaw, with a flourish, uses a more elegant entry, perhaps a swift kick or an expertly placed explosive charge. The ensuing confrontation with Hattie is a whirlwind of confusion and suspicion. Hobbs, acting on the intelligence he received, tries to apprehend her, his massive hands reaching out. Shaw, however, recognizing his sister, immediately steps in to defend her, creating a chaotic three-way brawl. It's a ballet of punches and evasions, each character showcasing their unique fighting style. The rhythmic thud of Hobbs's fists connecting with anything that moves. The precise, almost surgical strikes of Shaw, and Hattie's agile, resourceful counterattacks. Just when the skirmish reaches its peak, the unexpected happens. Brixton Lore, our super soldier villain, bursts onto the scene with his Etienne goons. His entrance is heralded by the screech of tires and the synchronized deployment of heavily armed thugs. Brixton, with his enhanced abilities, immediately makes his presence known. He moves with an almost supernatural speed, deflecting bullets, delivering blows that send grown men flying. The clatter of his cybernetic implants against Hobbs's bare knuckles creates a cacophony of sound. He's fast, strong, and seems impervious to pain, a truly formidable adversary. Hobbs and Shaw, despite their internal squabble, are forced to put aside their differences to contend with this new, overwhelming threat. It's a moment where you can almost see the reluctant respect form in their eyes, if only for a split second. What follows is an utterly insane car chase through the bustling streets of London, a sequence that perfectly blends the Fast and Furious franchise's signature vehicular mayhem with the individual flair of Hobbs and Shaw. They commandeer an armored truck, its engine roaring like a beast. The pursuit is relentless, with Brixton's high-tech motorcycles, which can seemingly transform and reconfigure on the fly, swarming around them like a deadly swarm of metal bees. The screech of tires, the metallic crunch of cars being shunted aside, the booming sound of gunfire, it's all a beautiful, chaotic symphony. Hobbs, behind the wheel, handles the massive truck with surprising agility, weaving through traffic, using sheer force to carve a path. Shaw, ever the strategist, barks orders and points out weak spots, even managing to take down a few Etienne bikes with surprising ingenuity, perhaps a well-aimed door smash or a precisely timed turn. Hattie, trapped in the middle, reveals the truth. She injected the virus into herself to keep it safe. The realization hits them like a truck, no pun intended. She's not a rogue agent. She's a walking biohazard, a ticking clock. The chase culminates in a spectacular crash, leaving the armored truck a mangled mess. But our heroes, of course, emerge relatively unscathed. They find themselves momentarily out of Brixton's grasp, catching their breath in a damaged alleyway. Now, with the full gravity of Hattie's situation laid bare, the stakes are impossibly high. They have to extract the virus before it activates, before it kills her, and before Etion gets their hands on it. The true nature of Etion, a global cyber-terrorist group with a leader who believes in human evolution through technology, starts to become clearer. They learn that Brixton isn't just enhanced, he's practically a cyborg, his very existence a product of Etion's radical vision. This reveal, delivered by Hattie, adds another layer of menace to their enemy. With the immediate threat temporarily evaded, Hobbs, Shaw, and Hattie regroup. The constant bickering between Hobbs and Shaw continues, of course, but now there's an underlying current of shared purpose. Hobbs is all about brute force and direct action. Shaw is about calculated risks and cunning tactics. Hattie, caught between these two immovable objects, often acts as the sarcastic voice of reason, pointing out the absurdity of their constant one-upmanship. It's truly a delight to watch them spar, their verbal jabs almost as entertaining as their physical ones. They need to find Professor Andreyko, the genius scientist who created the Snowflake virus, as he's the only one who might know how to extract it safely. Intelligence points them to a remote, highly secure Etion black site in Russia, a fortress hidden deep within the frozen wilderness. Russia, of course it's Russia, Shaw probably mutters, rolling his eyes. Where else would a super virus be kept? Their journey to Russia is punctuated by more arguments and a growing, if begrudging, respect. They arrive at the desolate, snow-covered facility, an imposing structure that looks like it was designed by a Bond villain with a penchant for concrete and secrecy. The wind howls, carrying with it the chill of the Siberian tundra, creating an atmosphere of stark isolation. Infiltrating the facility is a masterclass in contrasting styles. Hobbs, predictably, opts for a more direct, smash-and-grab approach, using his immense strength to bypass security measures. The dull thud of a reinforced door buckling under his weight is a satisfying sound. Shaw, on the other hand, utilizes his stealth and technical prowess, disabling cameras with a silent flick of his wrist and bypassing electronic locks with practiced ease. Hattie, a skilled operative in her own right, covers their backs, her eyes constantly scanning for threats, her movements silent and efficient. Inside the facility, the air is cold and sterile, a stark contrast to the natural elements outside. They navigate a labyrinth of corridors, the subtle hum of machinery filling the silence. The tension is palpable. Suddenly, they encounter a squad of Elitone guards. The resulting close-quarters combat is brutal and swift. Hobbs unleashes a barrage of powerful punches, each connecting with a sickening crunch, sending guards sprawling. Shaw moves like a deadly whirlwind, his precise strikes disarming and incapacitating enemies with frightening speed. Hattie, not to be outdone, uses her agility and combat skills, twisting and turning, disarming opponents with practiced ease. It's a symphony of controlled chaos, each of them a force of nature. They finally locate Professor Andreyko, a nervous, disheveled scientist cowering in his lab. He's terrified, a puppet in Elitone's grand scheme. He reveals the shocking truth about Elitone. They aren't just a terrorist group, they're a transhumanist cult, believing that humanity must evolve through technology, eliminating the weak. Brixton, he explains, is their prototype, a living weapon.
Andraco then reveals that Elitone has a device, a specialized piece of tech that can extract the virus, but it's not here. The location, he gasps, is... Before he can finish, an Elitone strike force bursts in, led by Brixton himself. Andraco is cut down in a hail of gunfire, his desperate pleas silenced, leaving our heroes with only half the crucial information. The silence after the gunfire is deafening, punctuated only by the ragged breaths of Hobbs, Shaw, and Hattie. Brixton, cold and calculating, corners them. The escape from the Russian facility is even more spectacular than the infiltration. With Andraco dead and Brixton hot on their heels, Hobbs and Shaw are forced to improvise. They hijack one of Elitone's high-tech vehicles, a sleek armored car that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. The pursuit through the snow-laden landscape is breathtaking. Brixton, riding a modified superbike, uses his enhanced abilities to keep pace, his glowing eyes fixed on Hattie. Explosions rock the frozen tundra as Elitone's aerial drones swoop down, firing relentlessly. The roar of the engine, the crunch of snow under tires, the whizzing sound of bullets, it's a sensory overload. Hobbs, pushing the vehicle to its limits, performs daring maneuvers, drifting through icy turns, narrowly avoiding missile strikes. Shaw, from the passenger seat, not only barks strategic commands, but also manages to jury-rig some countermeasures, perhaps firing off flares or deploying a smokescreen, all while maintaining his signature cool. The chase culminates in another devastating crash, leaving the vehicle a mangled wreck in the middle of nowhere. Hattie, weakened by the virus and the ordeal, is vulnerable. Brixton seizes the opportunity. Moving with blinding speed, he snatches Hattie from the wreckage. Hobbs and Shaw, despite their superhuman resilience, are momentarily incapacitated by the crash. They watch, helpless, as Brixton disappears into the blizzard with Hattie, her desperate cries echoing into the desolate landscape. It's a gut-wrenching moment, a bitter defeat. The deafening silence that follows the roar of the engines and explosions is almost more painful. Left stranded and defeated in the harsh Russian wilderness, Hobbs and Shaw are at their lowest point. Hattie is gone, the virus is still inside her, and Brixton has vanished with both. The animosity between them, however, takes a back seat to a shared resolve. This isn't just a mission anymore, it's personal. They realize they can't do this alone. They need help. And Shaw knows just the person, Madam M, a formidable underworld figure with vast resources and a questionable moral compass, but who ultimately aligns with whoever offers the most interesting challenge, or perhaps who has the coolest toys. Madam M is one of those characters who just oozes power and mystery, the kind of person you definitely want on your side, or at least not against you. Their journey to meet Madam M takes them to a hidden, opulent lair that screams secret society. It's a stark contrast to the bleakness of Russia, all velvet and low lighting, with exotic individuals milling about. Madam M, portrayed with an air of sophisticated danger, greets them with a knowing smirk. She knows everything, sees everything. She's less interested in their mission and more interested in the chaos they bring. After some typical Shaw-esque bartering, and perhaps a bit of Hobbs-esque intimidation, which probably just amuses Madam M, she agrees to help. Her resources are immense, information networks that can track Eton, an arsenal of highly advanced weaponry, and a team of skilled operatives ready to lend a hand. It's like Q from James Bond, but with a lot more attitude and possibly a better wine cellar. Armed with Madam M's intel and an impressive array of gadgets, Hobbs and Shaw formulate a daring plan to infiltrate Eton's primary data center and research facility, believed to be the place where Hattie is being held and where the extraction device is. This facility is located, because of course it is, near Chernobyl, a place synonymous with danger and isolation. The chosen location adds an ominous layer to their mission, a subtle nod to the lurking dangers of technology gone awry. Armed with Madame M's intel and an impressive array of gadgets, Hobbs and Shaw formulate a daring plan to infiltrate Eton's primary data center and research facility, believed to be the place where Hattie is being held and where the extraction device is. This facility, because of course it is, near Chernobyl, a place synonymous with danger and isolation. The chosen location adds an ominous layer to their mission, a subtle nod to the lurking dangers of technology gone awry.
The assault on Eton's Chernobyl facility is an absolute spectacle of action-first cinema. Their approach is stealthy at first, using Madame M's tech to bypass perimeter defenses. The silent thud of their boots on metal grating, the soft click of a lock being disarmed, the muffled comms. It's a masterclass in tension building. But as with all good action movies, stealth quickly gives way to chaos. A tripwire, a stray guard, and suddenly the facility erupts into a symphony of destruction. Alarms blare, strobes flash, and the facility lights up with a barrage of gunfire and explosions. The air fills with the metallic tang of gunpowder and ozone. Hobbs, a walking wrecking ball, barrels through armed Eton guards, his punches hitting with the force of a small truck. The bone-crunching impact of his blows echoes through the corridors. He grabs, he throws, he smashes, leaving a trail of unconscious bodies in his wake. Shaw, ever the refined brawler, moves with fluid precision, utilizing a combination of martial arts, close-quarters combat, and expertly aimed headshots. The crisp crack of his handgun, the quick snap of a neck, the rhythmic thud of a body collapsing. It's a brutal dance. Hattie, once rescued and armed, fights alongside them with a ferocity that matches her brother's, her moves swift and decisive. The three of them, a whirlwind of fists, feet, and bullets, carve a path through the Eton forces. They navigate through the sprawling, futuristic complex, bypassing laser grids that hum with deadly energy, dodging automated turrets that spit out barrages of bullets with a whirring mechanical sound. There's a truly epic sequence involving them having to traverse a massive, multi-story open space, perhaps a data server farm or a processing plant, while being pursued by a seemingly endless horde of Eton soldiers and advanced security drones. The sound of their boots on metal catwalks, the distant groan of heavy machinery, the constant pinging of their comms, it all contributes to the overwhelming sense of being trapped. They use the environment to their advantage, swinging from cables, leaping across chasms, turning the very structure of the building into a weapon. The objective inside the facility is twofold: rescue Hattie and locate the extraction device. They find Hattie hooked up to some ominous-looking Eton machinery on the verge of being drained of the virus, or worse. The tension as they work to free her is palpable, the constant whirring and beeping of the machinery adding to the urgency. Brixton Lore predictably appears to confront them. This time he's even more formidable, perhaps with new enhancements. The battle with Brixton is a strategic dance, with Hobbs's raw power trying to overwhelm him and Shaw's cunning trying to outsmart his enhanced reflexes. Brixton's cybernetic hand delivers blows with a metallic clang, deflecting bullets and sending our heroes reeling. The sound of their grunts of effort, the crack of their knuckles, the impact of their bodies against metal walls, it's all intensely visceral. They manage to secure the extraction device, but not before realizing that it needs to be used in a specific environment, a place where it can connect to some kind of natural energy source, or perhaps where they can shield it from Eton's interference. That place, they realize, is Samoa. The decision to go to Samoa, Hobbs's ancestral home, injects a powerful emotional core into the narrative.
It's a place of deep personal significance for Hobbs, a land steeped in tradition and family loyalty. The journey there is still fraught with danger, as Etion is undoubtedly tracking them. Upon arrival, the contrast between the high-tech, sterile world of Etion and the vibrant natural beauty of Samoa is striking. The lush greenery, the sounds of the ocean, the warmth of the sun. It's a breath of fresh air, but also a stark reminder of what they are fighting for. Hobbs's reunion with his family, let's say, complicated. His large, boisterous family, led by his equally imposing mother, initially greets him with a mixture of resentment and cautious welcome. Luke had left Samoa years ago, abandoning his family's traditional ways for a life with the DSS. His brothers, in particular, hold a grudge. The air is thick with unspoken words and old wounds. There's a fantastic scene where Hobbs is forced to confront his brothers, perhaps in a traditional Samoan clearing, the rhythmic beating of drums adding to the tension. The dialogue is sharp, filled with cultural references and the weight of familial expectation. He explains the situation, the global threat of Etion, and the fact that Hattie, a total stranger to them, is carrying the virus. It's a hard sell.
However, the powerful concept of ohana, family, eventually prevails. Despite their grievances, the Hobbs family, a community of fiercely loyal warriors, agrees to help. This isn't just a simple agreement, it's a full-scale commitment. The entire village mobilizes, transitioning from peaceful island life to battle preparation. We see scenes of them crafting traditional weapons, spears sharpened, shields reinforced, nets woven with incredible speed. The rhythmic clang of metal on stone, the focused hum of activity, the quiet determination in their eyes, it's all incredibly inspiring. They set ingenious traps throughout the rugged, jungle-clad landscape, utilizing the natural environment to their advantage. Think booby traps on a grand island-sized scale, designed to ensnare, disorient, and neutralize a technologically superior enemy. It's a brilliant juxtaposition, ancient traditions meeting futuristic threats. Shaw, ever the pragmatist, is initially skeptical of their primitive methods, probably muttering about the lack of lasers, but he soon witnesses their efficacy and respects their resourcefulness. Hattie, meanwhile, is growing weaker, the virus inside her steadily advancing, adding a ticking clock element to their desperate preparations. The final showdown in Samoa is where this movie truly goes off the rails in the best possible way. Brixton Lore and Etion's forces descend upon the island like a swarm of futuristic locusts. Their advanced armored vehicles, armed with devastating weaponry, rip through the jungle, their engines roaring, their headlights cutting through the tropical foliage. Drones equipped with laser cannons whiz overhead with a menacing hum, scouting for targets. The air fills with the sounds of battle, the staccato bursts of Etion's high-tech firearms, the deep thud of explosions, the war cries of the Samoan warriors. The Samoan warriors, led by Hobbs, his brothers, and the surprisingly effective tactical mind of Shaw, unleash their meticulously planned defense. It's a symphony of chaos and strategy. Etion soldiers trigger tripwires, sending them flying into nets suspended high in the trees, leaving them hanging like bewildered fish. Reinforced wooden barricades, seemingly primitive, prove surprisingly resilient against the initial assault, forcing Etion to use more destructive and therefore slower means to breach them. The sound of wood splintering, the groan of metal as a vehicle attempts to push through, the shouts of the warriors, it's all incredibly visceral.
Hobbs, a true force of nature, is at the forefront of the battle, wielding a traditional Samoan war club with devastating effect. Each swing connects with a sickening crunch, sending Etion's soldiers flying. He's a one-man army, soaking up damage, his roars echoing across the battlefield. His brothers, fighting alongside him, showcase their own impressive strength and combat skills, forming an impenetrable wall of muscle and family loyalty. The rhythmic thud of their bare fists connecting with armored foes, the grunts of effort, the guttural shouts of battle. It's a primal display of strength. Shaw, initially more reserved, quickly adapts to the guerrilla warfare tactics. He uses his sharp intellect, directing the warriors to strategic positions, setting traps, and identifying weaknesses in Etion's formations. He might even rig some of Etion's own downed vehicles to explode, turning their tech against them. He moves with his characteristic agility, weaving through the chaos, delivering precise, incapacitating strikes. The crisp crack of his handgun, the swift kick that sends an enemy sprawling, the metallic clang of a knife connecting with armor. It's a deadly dance of precision. Hattie, though weakened by the virus, fights with fierce determination, protecting the extraction device, knowing that she is the key to stopping the global threat. The vehicular mayhem reaches its peak when Brixton unleashes his main armored assault vehicle, a monstrous multi-wheeled behemoth that shrugs off bullets and smashes through obstacles with ease. It's a tank on steroids. Hobbs and Shaw realize they need to take it down. This leads to one of the most absurd yet utterly thrilling sequences in the movie. They rig several trucks with chains, attaching them to Brixton's vehicle, attempting to literally tear it apart. The roar of the truck engines, the straining groan of metal, the screech of tires on dirt as the trucks try to pull the larger vehicle in different directions. It's a spectacle of raw power. It's completely ludicrous, but so much fun to watch. In the midst of this grand battle, the personal rivalry between Hobbs and Brixton finally comes to a head. Brixton, furious at the resistance, abandons his vehicle to confront Hobbs directly. Their fight is a clash of titans, Hobbs's raw, unyielding strength against Brixton's cybernetically enhanced speed and precision. The ground trembles with the impact of their blows. Hobbs, driven by a primal fury, lands bone-shattering punches, his grunts of effort echoing through the chaos. Brixton, with his glowing eyes and metallic limbs, dodges with unnatural swiftness, delivering powerful counterattacks that would fell a lesser man. The metallic clang of Brixton's enhanced fist connecting with Hobbs's jaw, the thunderous thud of Hobbs's body hitting the ground, the strained groans of both combatants. It's a brutal, drawn-out slugfest that feels genuinely earned.
Simultaneously, Shaw engages Brixton in his own strategic duel, utilizing his agility and cunning to exploit weaknesses in Brixton's augmented physiology. Shaw is all about finding the angle, using the environment, distracting and misdirecting. The rapid fire of his precise strikes, the quick footwork, the metallic scrape of his movements as he avoids Brixton's enhanced attacks. It's a different kind of fight, a deadly chess match. Brixton, for all his enhancements, struggles with the unpredictability of human tactics. The climax of the fight with Brixton is a combination of both Hobbs and Shaw's unique strengths. They coordinate their attacks, a rare moment of seamless teamwork. Hobbs, using his unparalleled strength, holds Brixton in a powerful grapple, pinning him, while Shaw, with precise timing, targets Brixton's critical weak points, perhaps an exposed power conduit or a connection point for his cybernetic implants. The strained roars of Hobbs, the sharp, focused grunts of Shaw, the desperate thrashing of Brixton, it's a crescendo of pure physical effort. They manage to incapacitate Brixton, but he's not entirely defeated. In a chilling twist, Etion's mysterious unseen director, the director of Etion, activates a kill switch. Brixton, a product of Etion's technology, malfunctions, his enhancements going haywire. He collapses, a broken puppet, his life force extinguished, not by Hobbs or Shaw, but by the very organization that created him.
It's a stark reminder of Aetion's cold, calculating nature and their complete control over their creations. The sudden silence as Brixton falls is impactful, a momentary pause in the cacophony of battle. With Brixton neutralized, the immediate threat to Hattie is lifted. Hobbs and Shaw race against time to use the extraction device. Hattie, barely conscious, lies vulnerable as they operate the complex machinery. The soft hum of the device, the delicate beeping of its readouts, the intense focus on their faces. It's a moment of tense, scientific precision amidst the aftermath of brutal combat. They successfully extract the Snowflake virus, containing it in a secure canister. A collective sigh of relief, a moment of shared victory passes between them. The world is safe, thanks to their incredibly reluctant, incredibly destructive partnership. In the aftermath, amidst the beautiful wreckage of Samoa, the three heroes take a moment to breathe. Hattie, now safe and recovering, exchanges a look of genuine gratitude with her brother and a newfound, if still prickly, respect with Hobbs. The bond forged in the fires of battle has changed their dynamic. Hobbs, having reconnected with his family and seen them fight alongside him, finds a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. Shaw, too, seems slightly softer, perhaps even capable of a genuine smile, a very rare commodity from him. The sudden silence as Brixton falls is impactful, a momentary pause in the cacophony of battle. With Brixton neutralized, the immediate threat to Hattie is lifted. Hobbs and Shaw race against time to use the extraction device. Hattie, barely conscious, lies vulnerable as they operate the complex machinery. The soft hum of the device, the delicate beeping of its readouts, the intense focus on their faces. It's a moment of tense, scientific precision amidst the aftermath of brutal combat. They successfully extract the Snowflake virus, containing it in a secure canister. A collective sigh of relief, a moment of shared victory passes between them. The world is safe, thanks to their incredibly reluctant, incredibly destructive partnership. In the aftermath, amidst the beautiful wreckage of Samoa, the three heroes take a moment to breathe. Hattie, now safe and recovering, exchanges a look of genuine gratitude with her brother and a newfound, if still prickly, respect with Hobbs. The bond forged in the fires of battle has changed their dynamic. Hobbs, having reconnected with his family and seen them fight alongside him, finds a renewed sense of purpose and belonging. Shaw, too, seems slightly softer, perhaps even capable of a genuine smile, a very rare commodity from him.
The movie then takes a delightful turn with a series of mid-credit scenes that are pure fan service and set up future adventures. First, we get a call to Hobbs from his favorite overly enthusiastic CIA contact, Locke, played by Ryan Reynolds. Locke, in his usual rapid-fire, slightly unhinged style, reports on a new, even more dangerous virus, possibly involving a face-melting component, delivered with his signature deadpan sarcasm. Hobbs, of course, just rolls his eyes. It's a hilarious moment that perfectly captures their banter, a promise of more ridiculous spy antics to come. Then there's another hilarious scene with Kevin Hart's character, Air Marshal Dinkley, who, having been an unwitting pawn in their earlier escapades, now seems to believe he's part of the crew, making ridiculous suggestions and proving himself to be utterly useless but infinitely optimistic. He thinks he's earned a spot on the team, and frankly, after all he's been through, who are we to argue? And because this is Hobbs and Shaw, you know they can't end on a perfectly cordial note. Shaw, true to his nature, uses his connections to plant evidence that leads to Hobbs being arrested, a small act of vengeance for their tumultuous partnership. And Hobbs, not to be outdone, retaliates by calling in a threat that results in Shaw's custom McLaren being repossessed and crushed. The final shot of Shaw reacting to the crushing of his prized vehicle, while Hobbs watches on with a triumphant smirk, perfectly encapsulates their eternally antagonistic, yet ultimately endearing relationship. It's a subtle reminder that even after saving the world, some grudges are just too good to let go of.
The sounds of metal screeching as the car is destroyed, followed by Shaw's exasperated groan, is the perfect comedic punctuation to their wild ride. This movie, for all its over-the-top action and impossible stunts, does a phenomenal job of exploring themes of family, loyalty, and redemption. It shows that even the most unlikely of heroes, two men who seemingly have nothing in common beyond their love for punching things and driving fast, can come together for the greater good. It celebrates the power of tradition while embracing technological advancement, reminding us that sometimes the old ways are just as effective as the new. It's a testament to finding common ground, even if that common ground is just a shared enemy and a mutual appreciation for blowing things up. It encourages us to look beyond superficial differences and recognize the inherent strength in unity, no matter how reluctantly it's formed. This movie, for all its over-the-top action and impossible stunts, does a phenomenal job of exploring themes of family, loyalty, and redemption. It shows that even the most unlikely of heroes, two men who seemingly have nothing in common beyond their love for punching things and driving fast, can come together for the greater good. It celebrates the power of tradition while embracing technological advancement, reminding us that sometimes the old ways are just as effective as the new. It's a testament to finding common ground, even if that common ground is just a shared enemy and a mutual appreciation for blowing things up. It encourages us to look beyond superficial differences and recognize the inherent strength in unity, no matter how reluctantly it's formed.
Hobbs & Shaw is a pure blast of adrenaline-fueled entertainment. It takes the most beloved elements of the Fast and Furious universe, the impossible stunts, the focus on family, and the glorious explosions, and amplifies them with a healthy dose of self-aware humor and incredible chemistry between its leads. It's special because it doesn't take itself too seriously, yet delivers genuine stakes and heart. What's your favorite over-the-top moment from this movie?